Right, one thing I wanted to ask you was, would you actually say, like, a lot of the other past VCT events have been all about, like, a specific agent or, like, the metas hitting a certain way, who adapts? How would you describe this one? Was this, like, a bit more run-of-the-mill? Was there anything specific that stands out?
A lot of people played Neon. I would say that Neon really showed up quite a bit.
And what do you think the impact of that was in general?
Well, again, I think Neon's like an interesting agent because she's really good on attack if you can play her well, but she can be a bit more limited on defense. And I mean, so for example, Paper X in this final map of the grand finals, they pulled out this really like whack composition where so this is on Breeze, and they used Yoru, Neon, Breach, Astra, and someone else, and I don't remember who the last one was. But they like just pulled all this like weird shit out. And it's like, this is a crazy composition that clearly they have thought a lot about, but like on defense just didn't do that much. And it is interesting because FPX, the composition that they won that map on, was a composition that they haven't played since January. So they actually went back to this more like conservative, like sort of style of playing that's way less flashy and sort of based around new agents than what we've seen in the last few months for the most part in Valorant, which I found quite fascinating that making that jump back did that. And I do wonder how teams are going to split off from here in terms of trying to focus on, let's continue down this road of like wild ideas. And if there are going to be some teams that sort of pull back and they're like, okay, this didn't actually serve us as well as we thought maybe it would, like what are some old ideas that we can implement now and how can we use those best? And I am wondering if we will see a split of some kind as that happens. I think like, because so Neon came up a lot. Obviously Chamber's still been played a lot. We saw some Jet come back in. Obviously she hasn't been super popular since she got nerfed, and so to see some teams still decide that they want to bring her in. I mean, the fact that we saw like any Astra at all, I found so crazy. And Mind Freak did a really good job while playing Astra. And she is super out of the meta at the moment. But I think this was the most like explosive that we've seen.
Oh, really?
I don't know if I would like put it down to just one specific agent, but I think at least from what we've seen in 2022, because you can always like look back to like older Valorant where you had like the flash and dash kind of stuff that was really pioneered by Vision Strikers at the time and stuff like that. And yeah, so like back then was obviously like quite explosive just by nature, but yeah.
Is there enough variety, do you think, of the agent pool? Like, do you think do you want more agents to be added? Is there enough for now where we could sort of like take this set and have an interesting meta with it?
I think it's always cool to add new agents. I think actually just to add on to that last point, Fade obviously was brought in a lot for this, and I'm pretty sure that this was the first event where Fade was available. And so she sort of provides a different way of like entering and initiating and gathering information, which is obviously like a pretty big thing. She pretty much gives you wall hacks, right? So that I think really facilitates the ability to be more aggressive. And then if you're playing fast with something like a Neon or whatever, then it's sort of understandable why you would have a way less slow way of playing. But I mean, obviously I would love to see like more agents be brought in, because I think that's kind of how you build the game. I don't necessarily think it needs to be done faster or slower than it has been done up until this point. I assume that the next agent that's going to be brought in, I assume, is going to be like a controller, maybe. I mean, potentially a duelist, but I think there are more initiators in the game than any other role. And there's only really one agent in the game who's kind of considered unplayable, which I would argue is a very good place to be, because have only one character in your game be unplayable is wild. And I think it would be nice for, so this is Phoenix we're talking about. It would be nice for Phoenix to get a rework, maybe before a new agent is being brought in, just so that, like, it's not even like he's niche. Because, like, you can say Yoru is niche now. It's not even like Phoenix is niche. There's just no purpose for him, really. So, because I don't really believe in the philosophy that, like, every agent has to be playable in every situation, but I do think that there should always be some instance where Agent A is better than Agent B, and Phoenix doesn't fit that right now. So yeah, maybe like rework him before bringing in something new. But I think it's a good thing to be building the game. I actually get more excited about new maps than I do new agents, because I think new maps provide more of a broad way of finding new ways of looking at the game. And also, I think that like strategy that revolves around map pools is very interesting. And I think because the agents in Valorant are fairly well balanced, it's always really viable for teens to have their own preferences in how they want to play. I don't see, at least anytime soon, Valorant getting into a sort of ghosts type situation where there are only like 6 agents you can play, you know? So I think that new maps, for me personally, just always challenge the idea of like the correct / not correct way of playing the game, because it's a new geometry.
Want to see more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, you know, be a pleb and don't.